When growing my startups, I used to follow up on leads just to be ghosted repeatedly. I had so many no-shows, and the most frustrating thing was that I really wanted to help certain niche. However, they've been ghosting me, ignoring my emails and messages, and I needed to be asking them to get on calls with me, and that caused them to then control the entire frame on the call, and I had no authority. So I needed to adjust my page and make discounts, and basically to adjust to all the leads I faced back then. And I was certain that there must be a much better way to approach this, because always discounting on your thing and then chasing the leads, I mean, there must be another way to this. And after a few years of iterations, I learned the concept of lead flow design, which I want to share today with you in this video, because I'm sure it's going to be useful to most B2B SaaS founders out there who are currently going through this trenches of adjusting to people's schedules, having to go and get on calls at ridiculous times just to have some opportunity to pitch to a potential customer. And then after the person shows up on calls, the lead then dictates the way the call is going to go. And then sometimes the SaaS founder would need to adjust the whole pitch and the whole frame just to somehow please this potential prospect. And I'm telling you that it must not be like this, and there is a much better way to all of this, and I refer to it as lead flow design. And today I'll be sharing the lead flow design manifesto. So to get it clear, lead flow design is the framework for attracting, capturing, and converting leads into customers, involving the design of pathways through which cold leads become buyers. And the main pillars, which the main components that build it up, are the volume, testing, and prioritization. Because once the founder combines all these three together, it allows them to transition from having to chase the leads and from having to adjust to basically seeking and jumping on every potential opportunity, to having an abundance of leads and to controlling their own life and the way they run the business. At the start, most SaaS founders build out this relationship with potential leads on a very wrong way, and that's how they end up then customizing features for years for no extra fee, because they're afraid that the prospect is going to leave them. So spoiler alert, if you have an abundance of prospects and abundance of customers, you are then not worried about kicking one of them away because they're an annoying dickhead. And that's why in the last years I've been spending helping B2B SaaS founders become lead flow designers and figure how to get to this abundance of leads, so that they don't need to be chasing every single opportunity that comes in their way, but rather invest maximum effort on those prospects that are, first of all, worth doing business with, and second, can actually get the startup to the next revenue milestones much easier. So now I'll share a few statements for you to get more clarity on that. The lead chaser moves slowly and spends weeks questioning things and takes a whole workday to complete a 2-hour task. The lead flow designer treats speed as a top priority. They launch experiments, test hypotheses, and get things done quickly. They get more market insight quicker than anyone else, which accelerates their growth rate. The lead chaser is always afraid to floor the gas pedal, can't get enough eyeballs on what he is doing, and keeps tweaking his website with 20 monthly visitors. Actually, this rarely brings any output. Whereas the lead flow designer can drive volume. He knows how to get and convert quality traffic into his offers, and this makes him unbeatable. The lead chaser comes up with one message and ICP hypothesis and blindly sticks to it unless the runway ends. Whereas the lead flow designer is constantly A/B testing. He uses his testing skills to find shortcuts and the best conversion mechanisms. The lead chaser fills his schedule just for the sake of it, jumps from one task to another, and never gets an expert opinion on whether all cards in his Trello actually matter. And I recognize myself being this a few years back when I would just, for example, have a few important, well, the problem is, unless you have someone who's been through that, you cannot just decide, okay, these cards in my Trello board matter, these ones do not, because you really need the like someone who has already achieved the outcome to give an insight on that. For example, do this task get you to the outcome and do this ones not, or vice versa. So the lead flow designer is actually understanding prioritization and focuses on the right things at the right time and executes high level and high leverage activities. I found out through a ton of iterations and I'd say painful lessons that you can spend tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds, going in the wrong way and be busy without being productive. And I think even, for example, 2 years back, I would see that how I would have 50 to 100 different tasks and I would be checking off my Trello boards and be thinking that, oh, I'm moving in the right direction because I'm so productive and I get so much shit done. Well, interestingly, it's not about completing 100 different tasks, but about completing the right 10 repeatedly. Because this is actually what is going to get you this hockey stick growth and a tremendous impact on your startup. And I'm fortunate that I got to invest into the right people at the right time who were able to point me out in the ways that got me to the next revenue levels. So the lead chaser built a product that solves no pain and is anxiously looking how to get people to pay for it. Doesn't know how to get in front of the right market, so chases every opportunity in his funnel as if it's the last. And I remember that when I was only booking 1 or 2 calls a week, it put me into such disadvantage because, when you only communicate with one or couple leads a month, whenever they get on a call with you, you are not only shaking because you're afraid to lose the opportunity, but for example, this means that the person there can be driving the car, working out in the gym, and for example, not even listening to you and not treating you with respect, but you still need to sit like this and nod your head and basically adjust to whatever they are to say to you. And it must not be like this, because this way you lose your authority and frame, and it puts you into such disadvantage that they then afterwards can just be ghosting you, and that's how you end up with a pipeline of like leads who are all about to buy but actually never take action. So the lead flow designer sells his solution to the best paying crowd. He creates wealth by helping winners win more and drives quality opportunities to his funnel. It's not about having 1000 leads in your pipeline, but about finding, okay, what's the best paying ICP that can get you the largest deal sizes the smoothest way and putting your maximum effort there. The lead chaser doesn't track numbers and never bother to identify DNA metrics which will 10x his business. The lead flow designer focuses on DNA metrics. He knows there are thousands of numbers to look at, but he invests his energy into taking care of those that will 10x his unique business. He uses DNA metrics as his unfair advantage. The lead chaser has to chase prospects and adjust to their frame on calls, as I mentioned. He has to get into calls at 3 a.m. and has no authority on the meeting as he begged the prospect to join, and that makes it so much harder to close the sale. The lead flow designer creates an abundance of opportunities, never needs to place prospects on calls because his strong offer and the lead flow design get potential buyers to queue up on his waitlist. And also that's something we focus on in the first 4 months inside SaaS Camp. The lead chaser doesn't know where to put money to make more money and can't put $1 to get $3 out. The lead flow designer follows a sure shot formula. And I don't know how you can sustainably grow a business without having one. X inputs bring him Y sales, and he knows exactly what to do. Because once you have a sure shot formula, And that's one of, again, initial things I aim to identify with every single startup I begin to work with. We then can just turn the complex business machine into a simple, straightforward formula where we know that this is where we need to get more inputs and this is going to get us X many sales. Then we can reinvest, and we know how much we need to put money in each thing to get us to the revenue target we have planned for the quarter. Awesome. I teach lead flow design inside SaaS Camp, and I myself have gone through all these lead chasing patterns that I identified here. And what I do now is I basically save B2B SaaS founders years that it took me to go from lead chaser to a lead flow designer. So if some of this resonated, I would be happy to help you out, because I've got case studies when we get people from 0 calls, 0 sales to like 16 calls and 4 deals in 3 weeks, then 23 demos booked from scratch in just the first week, and then also booking them 4 demos in the first hour of being inside the program. So I'm just curious to look at your case as well and see what opportunities we can unlock with you. Thank you very much for watching, and talk soon.